Our guest today made a name for herself as the no-nonsense Wilhelmina Slater in Ugly Betty and party girl Renee in Desperate Housewives. But these days, you're more likely to find Vanessa Williams on stage, taking on the role of one of the world's worst bosses in The Devil Wears Prada. Here to tell us all about it, it's Vanessa Williams. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you so much. I watch you guys all the time.
So you see you on the telly, I'm a bit like, ooh, here she is.
Her in the flesh.
Here she is.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with the Devil Wears Prada at the Dominion Theatre.
We're at the Dominion, yeah.
Doing so well, it's been extended to January the 3rd.
Yeah.
Have you got that in you? That's, what is it, 8 shows
8 shows a week. I've done Broadway for several years, so it's wonderful to be on the West End, and it's an incredible show. It's turned into an experience. It's not just a musical to watch. People get dressed up. We have a whole experience. When you come, there's a booth. There's all kinds of fragrances and fashion that you can view.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it's turned into like a girls' trip.
Yeah, I went last week.
You did?
I went last week. I loved it. I thought it was great. And what really impressed me was everybody was there to have a good time.
Yeah.
But that's so much for you to live up to right from the outset because everybody wants you to be the nastiest boss ever.
I know, I know. Well, that's my job.
You know, but I have to say, it's one you've played a few times before really, really well. I mean, I loved Ugly Betty too.
Yeah, why do I keep getting these roles?
I was going to say, what is it about you?
I think, obviously it's casting. When they see that you can be despicable, and as an actress, it's okay to be unliked. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, what am I public going to think? Who cares? Is the role fantastic? Can you nail it? And can you be intriguing?
Yes!
And the clothes are great.
And the clothes are great.
And how do you get in a role to play that sort of woman? Because it's quite a formidable character, isn't it? Is it
typecasting?
Is it type? No, I mean, I'm actually a softie, so I wish I had the power and the strength that most of the women that I play have. It is kind of freeing, though, because when you can say anything and get away with it,
liberating.
who does that in
very casually mentioned there, 8 shows a week, but that is a lot. I mean, what do you do to sort of prepare physically and mentally for that? Because, whisper it, you are over 60. And
I'm 62.
Absolutely.
62,
absolutely. And, we do need to keep our stamina up at that age with... What do you do?
Well, I take care of my instrument.
By eating crisps, I believe.
Well, that's my trick. So when your voice... when I'm in the recording studio and your voice gets kind of dull because you've been singing over and over again and you kind of lose the high end. When I was doing Save the Best for Last, Keith Thomas, who was the producer, he would say, grab a chip up, and I would have a bag of Lay's potato chips, which are kind of salty and greasy.
Yeah.
But the oil, for some reason, coats your throat and allows you for your upper end to kind of
That's so funny you say that, because years and years ago I interviewed Celine Dion. Yeah. And all through the interview, she ate these little salted crackers. And I said, why on earth are you eat? And she said, oh, they help with my voice. Yeah. Who knew?
We thought they might be exfoliating her throat. That was the point of it. Something like that. So are you glad to be stuck in the UK until the 3rd of January?
I'm loving it. And I also love game shows, too, by the way. Oh, yeah. I just did Blankety Blank.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How did you get on?
She's not allowed to say. Don't spoil it.
No, it was...
I bet you were really good.
It was a lot of fun. I'm going to do a celebrity catchphrase soon as well.
And you
I
don't
love
just
The Chase.
have that in
I love
common.
Tipping Point. I watch... You guys have the best game shows.
You have become British. How long have you been here?
Well, I've been here for over a year. We started the workshop for the show last January. Then we started rehearsals again in May. Then I was in Plymouth all summer. So anyone who was in Plymouth, hello. But it was wonderful. And then we started here. We started October 24th was our first preview. So we've been running the show for, it seems like,
are you hoping to spend another 3 years here by any chance?
Well, I know you mentioned what's going on in the States, which...
100 Days of Trump.
All my friends that have come over, they just look so weary. And I'm like, is it that bad? And everyone has taken it personally, particularly because of being African-American, and both my parents were teachers, so, like, dismantling the education program, taking... you know, an African-American museum taking just recently the stand, the Woolworth stand, which was the first in the 1960s, where they had the sit-ins, where it was black and white lunch counters, and black, we're talking the 60s, sat in to get served. That was one of the installations in in the African-American Museum, and that's being sent back to where it originally came from. So people are taking all of these changes personally.
Understandably.
And it's just really making people exhausted and weary. And what do we do? How do we fight back?
Now, can I ask you, on a completely different note, about working with Elton? I've known him for many years, and I've seen the footage of him working with Brandi Carlile, the footage that went viral when Elton completely loses it, which, to be fair to him, he has not done lately, and that behaviour is very much in the past, when he loses it and he gets so cross with himself. But when you had to work with him, workshopping the musical, what was it like? Were you a little bit frightened that version of Elton might emerge?
You know what? He was so happy with our version. He was so happy with everything. And, you know, he actually wrote a new song for us. Jerry Mitchell was our director and choreographer, and really came up with a wonderful concept. Again, it's the movie, but we've got, like, your favorite lines from the movie that are intertwined in there, but it's also a kind of a different experience, too. So you get into the Mode magazine, the Runway magazine, but Elton is you know, as great as he is, has given us some great songs that are hit songs, and our cast is extraordinary.
Yeah, and very quickly before you go, we've literally got a minute left, but I wanted to ask you about, because you are a former Miss America.
1983, talking about 42 years ago.
That was the year I was born.
Oh, my God.
Great,
I believe you're making a documentary about it. What in particular around it?
Everything. You know, I was 20 years old, junior year at Syracuse University, majoring in musical theatre, and my junior year abroad was supposed to come here to London.
Right.
So I had my roommate was already set. I had paid my deposit, ready to go, and I won Miss America. And I did that for scholarship money. So I made a complete detour from what my...
Transformational.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
but also being the first black and being, having hate mail, having death threats, all of that stuff at 20 years old was astounding.
A lot to do.
A lot was protected from me, from my parents. I had no idea that the FBI had a file of people that... I had sharpshooters on roofs. And again, at 20 years old, you're thinking, oh, that's interesting, not knowing that my life was in danger. So that's...
Did you have support?
That sounds...
I did.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, so we're going to explore all of that.
Good. Well, we'll look forward to seeing that. Vanessa, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
For coming in to see us. Devil Wears Prada, Dominion Theatre until January the 3rd. Vanessa Williams.